water to wine, right, Jason? What they said? Okay. You don't understand, like, I am so, like, you know, I don't like cussing around people a lot, you know what I'm saying? I cuss on my show. But I'm like so happy that I got you here. Mm-hmm. Every single person was like, Tasha, especially when all those lawsuits hit and everything was coming out, everybody's business. You know, like Cat Williams said, it was like 2025, all lies will be revealed. Everybody was like, Tasha, you need to talk to Watch Lee. You need to talk to Watch Lee.
That's interesting.
Everybody, they was like, this is the person. I guess maybe years ago, I came across some of your videos like years ago when I first got in it. But like you were like, we were in the same lane. Like you had your channel going, we were blogging. And then I took off on the Steve Harvey stories and stuff like that. But like you were talking about, you know, your relationship with Tyler Perry and the friend group that you guys were in.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of stuff going on.
That's interesting because no one knows when I tell you he is so private. And I heard that he bought a damn house on an island and got a private island in Bahamas. I'm like, what are you trying to hide?
What he has been able to do is he silenced everybody. One of the things that Tyler Perry is very good at, what he learned from Oprah, is have everybody sign agreements to shut your mouth. And what do you call those agreements?
NDAs.
Everybody. And that way, once you silence them and pay them whatever amount of money some people were on Tyler Perry's payroll, but they weren't working for Tyler Perry. But they were still getting paid. And still coming in signing these NDAs. And they went, what is $100,000 a year? For some people, if you ain't doing
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But it silences you and makes you sit down and not say anything. And then you need to come back in another year or two. Let's resign this. We'll continue this. But he didn't want them working for him anymore. But they were still getting paid.
Just to, because I know the latest guy, you know, the pretty white dude.
Yeah.
Just so I think his name is Dylan, if I'm not mistaken.
I know who you're trying to know his name. I've saw the videos and saw all the
Found him through like a kind of a temp, kind of bartending agency. Mm-hmm. There's a guy that has always just kind of serviced Tyler Perry's parties, and he sends attractive men to Tyler, and then Tyler approaches the men while they're bartenders and things, working his parties.
I've been to a couple of Tyler Perry's parties.
Oh.
Yeah, this was years ago though. Big, elaborate parties. I mean, catered affairs. They were beautiful parties. He had some houses out in South Fulton's where he had a couple of houses out there that he buy one house, sell it. The first movie he did was at that house. What's the movie?
Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
Yeah, that was his house.
Okay.
So after he left that house, he had some other homes in that same area that he had built, and before he moved to Buckhead. But he had a lot of parties out there. I mean, it wasn't nothing, I mean, it was just everybody would come to the staff, people who were in the plays, and I knew Tyler through it.
Yeah, like how did you and Tyler meet? Like how long have you?
So my best friend was a guy named Eric Labman. And this goes back to the early 90s when Tyler said he was homeless. Now, why Tyler Perry came up with this homeless story, said he was homeless, I have no clue.
Because everybody need a sympathy story. Tiffany Haddish got one too.
Yeah.
She stayed with her grandmother. Her grandmother said, "You ain't gonna come in here at 2:00 in the morning."
Well, Tyler, he claims he was living out his car. But he was actually staying with a friend of mine named Eric Labman. And it was Eric Labman, Tyler Perry, Tyrone Robinson. So there was one other, but no, it was just the three of them living in Eric's house. Eric was a hairstylist. But that was Tyler Perry's best friend at the time. And they ended up, it's a long story.
How many years ago was this? Like 20?
This had to be in the early 90s, like 92, 93.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because I bought my house in 1993 in Stone Mountain. And so
I was 10 years old then.
So like 1990, I was 23.
I was born in 82,
and
so I was like...
I didn't know who Tyler was at that point. He was friends with Eric because he just kind of stayed out of the way. But later on, in about 96, 97, 90, 98, when he started doing those plays, because he did a first play with Eric, and I don't think it did too well. I can't remember, because I remember I don't know if Eric was saying, hey, my friend Tyler, we doing these plays, and blah, 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 you need to come see it, and blah, blah. And I was doing construction, building, and renovating houses at that time. So it wasn't like I had time to really travel, because they were doing a little chitlin circuit going here and there with these plays. This was during them.
And he was a hairstylist I guess for the
Well, no, Eric was
actors?
actually an investor.
Oh.
Yeah, Eric and they were doing that plays. They were doing it together because Tyler didn't have any money, but Eric did have some money
Oh. He was a bank.
to a degree. But there was another person who they got the money from.
Who was that?
Another friend who ended up going to prison for drugs. So that's where the money originally came from.
Okay. Is he still in prison?
Oh no, yeah, he's about 10 years. He's out now.
Okay.
But he was locked up in maybe 93, summer of 1993. He was caught having some narcotics shipped in from California.
Okay, so trafficking.
Trafficking. Okay. But that's when he went to jail. That money back then he left some money around, and Eric and Tyler took hold of that money, and that's what they did.
So it wasn't an income tax check.
Income tax check.
That's what he said. He said, I used my first.
I never heard that lie before. Tyler's a huge Tyler. One of the things I don't like about Tyler Perry and any of these people who are this Christian mess. I don't trust them people as far as you can throw their asses.
Shots fired!
I don't trust
Walter Lee after you came out the gate.
I don't trust those people as far as you can throw them because they lie so damn much. And they're very untrustworthy. And every word that come out their mouth is a lie, and God and Jesus and God did this and Jesus did. No, you stole this. Tyler Perry's whole thing, my partner, Earl, who's passed away this year, they used to all go out to Tracks. I don't know if you heard of a club called Tracks. Well, Tracks was a gay club which was located downtown, right across the street from where the aquarium sits now.
Okay, I know.
So the Tracks was there. They had this. They would have a Tuesday night, and they had Sophia.
Okay,
she was a comedian.
I remember Sophia.
She dressed in drag or somewhat like drag or something, red dress, and she was hilarious.
Ugly. Hilarious.
But funny.
Yeah.
Way funny than the character that Tyler Perry created. He stole everything. He sat there with a video camera recording Sophia in Tracks nightclub. This was a gay club. Tyler was there. Everybody was there. I'm like, one of y'all... I wasn't really into the whole... there was a drag show they would have every Tuesday night. It was something during the week. A work night. And I'm like, I go there. But Earl would go. Because he liked to see he thought it was funny. So occasionally I would go down there with him. I'd see Tyler, Eric, and I'd see everybody sitting down there laughing, having a good time. Sophia was hilarious. Funny. I mean, you'd be just rolling laughing. There was no way you were going to go. So Tyler saw something. Because when he did that first play, Medea wasn't there. That character, he created that character after he recorded Sophia multiple times, and that's who he created the character out of. He stole that material from Sophia.
Sophia, I didn't mean to call you ugly, but we need you to confirm this.
She has confirmed this on many occasions on YouTube. Yeah. She has several YouTube videos.
Wow.
But you'll be able to talk to Sophia more in detail. You know, Tyler Perry did a movie with Sophia. I'm saying Sophia, what is his real name? I can't think of his real name.
I can't think of his real name either.
Yeah, but the character, because he was on V103.
Okay. I do remember that.
He was on V103 for a while. But
he's working with T.S. Madison now sometimes, Sophia.
I've seen them occasionally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was around when he was just trying to pick up things to kind of help his plays to be more funnier, I guess, to stick more.
The thing that I disliked about Tyler, this is how we got into it. Tyler liked to use people. The actors, the singers, everybody was in his plays. Nobody was making any money. He didn't pay anybody. Y'all were volunteers. And we just volunteer. I'm like... Now, of course, this was the time when he's trying to get the stuff going. He's trying to get the plays going. He's trying to get everything started. They're going on tour, but you're not paying people. People are just kind of like volunteering to help be an actor in the play. But maybe there wasn't no money coming in. Maybe after they rented the venue, maybe it was no money. But I think once the money started to get good and he started making a profit, I think he should have went back and said, thank you for working with me when I didn't have anything. But he didn't want to do that. He started getting rid of people. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this person. Get rid of this person. He literally started
and
getting
hiring more like professionals.
Well, do you?
Because it's sort of like you're indebted to those people.
Has he really hired professional people yet? Anyway,
he'll get one every now and then to star in a film.
I mean, he's had. Let's think of what actress or actor he hasn't had. Denzel Washington. Who else has he? I mean, he's had who? Let's see. Let's think. Name some high end. There's some really good talent.
Taraji P.
Who else? Keep going. She's good. I'm not gonna knock her because she's excellent. But as he had
he got Tiana Taylor. She's doing her thing now.
She's doing some stuff now. But I'm talking about somebody like.
When we're stressed out about anything, including debt, there's so many other detriments to our lives, our health, our family, our friends, all can see it on us. And then when you become debt-free, you can start focusing on things that truly make you happy. It really is true happiness. I've had many individuals make up with family members after going through bankruptcy because they don't have the stress. It really changes your mindset and it allows you to have the freedom, the mental freedom to take care of what's really important. And I certainly recommend it for everybody because, as we all know, life is too short.
Child, y'all know I don't play about my hydration or hygiene, especially when it comes to down there. And let me tell you, this Wet Kitty formula made by Officially Pleasure XO on Instagram is everything. It's odorless, plant-based, creamy. But I like that it doesn't lock off your pH balance as well. It's actually pH balance, if you get me, okay? So holla at Officially Pleasure XO on Instagram to copy you something. Like I said, they have this wonderful trio box, okay, that has 3 different types in here. I believe it's 2 clear, 1 creamy. It smells good, feels good, and it stays juicy without doing the most. I'll see you on the website. Winos, Mark Curry in the flesh.
That's right. I'm finally here.
You dropped the bomb there because I've always heard that, and I even spoke to Suge Knight personally. If there is some type of conspiracy built around Diddy offing Biggie Smalls.
When Biggie, that night when Biggie got shot, I was there because I was signed to Bad Boy, but I lived in Los Angeles. You know, D1 called me and told me that they shot Big and killed him. And but we was just with him the day before.
I think the documentary had mentioned that. Puffy had paid for the funeral, but then basically took it out of Biggie's earnings. But the estate came out and denied and said that it never happened.
How trustworthy is the estate? With Biggie not here, the mother not here, who could you trust with that kind of money?
There have been rumors of how Black Rob died.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard those rumors?
I took him to dialysis. I know exactly what he died from. Then we put him to the hospital, and I understand what he was saying. He said, if you take me in there, they gonna take me from you. Then he started getting delusional. He said, the lady in there got on a black dress. I was like, oh snap, ain't no lady with a black dress in there.
Do you feel like there was Puffy had something to do with Kim's death?
Nobody can say that. I can't say that, but I can always say that where there's smoke, there's fire, and we keep on having to put fires out over and over again.
Watch this full program and other exclusive content on www.TashaKLive.com.
Angela Bassett.
Has she ever worked with him?
I don't think so.
So he's kind of always mined his talent, you know, with new people, which is fine. Nothing wrong with new people, but pay them. Give them what they're worth.
Because
so
he can keep the cost on the production low if they're new.
But I'm making all the money to myself. I'm making the money. I'm keeping the money. I'm keeping the money. You all get nothing.
That is his model.
But I'm a Christian.
That's his business model. He just gave a church $100,000.
I heard about that. But he may have changed, but I still hear a lot from a lot of people that they don't make any money over there at Tyler Perry Studios.
I know a lot of people that work there, and it's a job. It's just like a day job.
Yeah, they don't make any money.
They can still make just as much money going to work at a restaurant or Kroger's.
Right, they don't make.
But it's just the being around the who's who, hoping to get that. And that's
the thing that bothers me the most about Tyler Perry. And you're a Christian, and you realize the pain you went through, the suffering you had. When you didn't have any money, claim you living in your car. But you're not willing to show that same grace to other people by saying, hey, I'm going to pay you this. I'm lift them up. I mean, am I wrong?
What made me really start to really just kind of expose Tyler Perry is when the boy that was working for him, the white boy that he had got from the bartending agency that worked his party, he bought him a Jeep, which he has the right to do. Mm-hmm. He bought him a brand new Jeep. He didn't like his car, like within a couple of days of meeting him, according to the boy. Then he gave this guy parts in like shows, but then
Mhm.
was paying him like $1 million a season, more than what he was paying like
He was paying that boy that
Taraji P.
much?
Yeah, according to the lawsuit, yes. And what made me irritated was that, you know, here you are now being sued by this boy saying that you are abusing your power, inappropriate relationships. He works for you.
I can see it.
You know what I'm saying? And yet it feels like the only reason you're giving him this is so he can give you something in return. But really, he worked. And he said that Tyler Perry would manipulate people a lot by giving them these big roles, these non-Black boys that he wanted to sleep with. But then if they didn't get what they wanted, like if he didn't get what he wanted, he would kill their characters.
Right.
He's always killing a character.
Now, I saw that part where he got rid of the character that he was playing. But I didn't realize he was paying him over $1 million.
$1 million a season.
Wow.
And he always brags about, you know how much I've paid more Black actors and actresses more money than Hollywood has ever paid them. But when you're paying Taraji P $500,000, but you're paying Dylan $1 million.
Well, clearly we know something was going on there with Dylan.
Let's talk about, because Tyler Perry's sexuality has been in question for a long time. I don't give a damn
what is the question? When he came, Tyler Perry's been gay since he popped out his mama's coochie. So what is the confusion here?
That he's never said anything, and he's paraded this girlfriend of 9 years around with this child.
A Christian Black man with a girlfriend he's never married, who had a baby by. Something ain't right with this picture. Tyler Perry been gay since he came out of his mama coochie. So what is the concern? He's been gay since he was a little kid. So
when you were around Tyler, y'all was just gay? Friends?
Everybody was gay, and Tyler was just as gay. He's never changed. He's still a gay man now. I mean, he's not straight. He's gay.
So he's not bisexual?
No.
So that model he was with for 9 years.
Well, you know why he did it. Well, let me tell you what Tyler Perry told me that. This is when we really got into it one night. Well, first off, I got tired of all of the people I knew who were working for Tyler. He wasn't making no money. I'm like, okay, but Tyler's pulling up in a Bentley, a Mercedes, $100,000, all these expensive cars. I'm like, okay. But I'd be like, did y'all make any money yet? Did anybody get paid yet? No. I'm like, well, when do you all begin to get paid for doing this stuff? He didn't upgrade his lifestyle.
He's like that now. He keeps all the writing credit, all the producing credit. He hires everybody as what they call
a form of slavery.
Yeah, below the line.
It's like slavery. Because I'm waiting for the day when you're gonna give me my worth, and I'm doing the plays, I'm doing the shows, I'm doing this, I'm doing. I pray and hope that these people are making money now. But back then, they weren't making anything.
I mean, it's decent because, of course, in order to be...
Tyler's a billionaire.
Right. But so he's a billionaire because he owns all the writing credit.
Right.
All the producing credit.
Yeah.
And then the actors are just, once their project is done, he pays them and they leave. So he keeps pretty much 80% of all the money. He doesn't operate like how most studios operate.
Yeah, because it's his.
It's his. So he doesn't take... I've heard from other various creators that he's taken like stage play ideas from them, scripts, all that stuff, repurpose it, and then sell it to the...
And he'll say, well, God, Jesus put this in my lap. No, that's not what happened. Someone gave this to you, trusting you that you would look at it, review it, and assist them with it, but then you took it as your own.
What made you start calling Tyler Perry out years ago?
I went to go see a show. Tyler Perry did a movie that shocked me at the end. That girl had AIDS in the movie.
For Color Girls?
Not that one. It's another movie he did. The gay guy jumps out of a box or something in the show, and I didn't like the way he depicted the character. But at the end of the show, the girl, she had HIV. She cheated on her husband. She contracted HIV. And I always thought, I didn't like the way he depicted that whole HIV thing. We had so many friends that we all knew who had died from AIDS. And I remember just sitting there watching that movie theater and thinking, okay, this is ridiculous. I can't think of the name of that movie. But then there's a role in that movie where a gay guy jumps out of, if I'm thinking of the right movie, sometimes I'm a little older now. But after I saw that movie, there was another issue that happened. My friend Tyrone, he got out of prison. Tyrone got out of prison. They had took his money and used it to start doing these plays and stuff. Tyrone came home with nothing. Nothing. That wasn't the agreement. So when Tyrone got out of prison and went back to California, I'm just thinking, oh, I know Tyler gonna take care of Tyrone because without Tyrone, this would never have happened. I'm like, okay, yeah. I picked Tyrone up one day. We drove around Atlanta. He was out. He was staying in a halfway house. We talking. I said, "We spoke to Tyler yet?" I'm gonna speak to him. Reach out to you. You need to speak to him. You need his number. You need to go ahead and talk to him. Have you spoke to Eric? I said, I'm gonna talk to everybody. I said, okay, you need to talk to them. They doing very well, and you need a little help.
Yeah.
Tyrone went home to California. I mean, because he had to parole back out. They wouldn't let him stay in Georgia. They made him go back to California. When he got back to California, Tyler Perry came through Los Angeles touring with one of those plays. I was in contact with Tyrone, like, okay, Tyler's there. Let me know what happens. I'm so glad y'all getting together. Finally, you're going to come up a little bit. You deserve it. Tyrone's a great person. I mean, just a really good person. Unfortunately, he got caught up in drug dealing. Well, it happens.
We all have one in our family.
Do you know that Tyler Perry left 2 tickets at will call for him? And then wouldn't even see him. Wouldn't even speak to him. Wouldn't talk to him. Wouldn't see him at all. When he went to the back door of that, wherever he was trying to ask him, they were like, no, you're not on the list. That was it. That was that.
Because he knew he owed him money.
Remember, Tyler Perry is a what? He's a Christian. And I don't trust them as people as far as you can throw their asses. And I knew right then and there, I said, okay, Tyler, that took the cake, because what would have harmed him to give him something or any type of, even just to sit down with him, man, I'm glad you're doing okay. None of that. He wouldn't even see him. Wouldn't talk. 2 tickets. That was it. He felt he didn't owe him anything.
Tyrone, if you're watching, the platform is here, brother.
Yeah, I would love for Tyrone, but I think he's in a different space now, because at that time, Tyrone was kind of real DL. Nobody knew he was gay. Tyrone's living his life now. He's proudly gay in a relationship, doghouse. He don't even want to acknowledge that he went to prison for drugs and all that stuff. That's something that's in the past for him. Yeah. He had to move forward from. Most people don't even know that he served time, or he was a big drug dealer, and the feds chased him down.
And that his money was used to
build
Tyler Perry Studios right now.
Well, I don't think it was used for that. Money was long gone by that time.
Planted the seed. Yeah. You flip it. Keep going.
Yeah, I think the money might have been used for that first play, wherever it was. It was enough money to get started.
If I give you investment funds to start, I'm going to have my percentage all the way through to the end. That's generally how deals are done.
Well, of course, we know that's the way it's supposed to be done. But of course, this was kind of done in the darkness of the night.
Yeah.
Begging money left at the house. Somebody locked up the feds, snatched your ass off Buford Highway in the middle of the daytime. I was supposed to meet Tyrone that day. We were going to the gym. I'm like, where's he at? What's going on? And come to find out, he was arrested. And I said, for what? Because even I didn't know.
Damn.
That this drug thing was going on. I never knew. I'm like, for arrested for what?
You know what I noticed is Tyler has never, you've probably been on YouTube like 10 years talking about him. He's never, has he ever responded to you or tried to legally come?
Other people, that we know, they've said, oh, Tyler didn't like that. Or Tyler this or Tyler that. And I'm like, Tyler, F his ass.
Gosh.
We were never, when Tyler Perry not sat at that restaurant at 10th and 14th Street, and he went on about God and Jesus did this and God did this and God and this. And I'm sitting across from him thinking, okay, all these people sitting here have worked for you. You've not paid them anything. I had my own money. I'm pulling up in my own Mercedes. And they were afraid to talk to him. And I'm thinking, okay, what the is going on here? When are you going to pay these people? And he's like, well, I don't want nobody to know I'm gay. I'm thinking, you don't want nobody to know you gay. But we are at this restaurant full of gay people with this big table full of gay. What is going on here in your head? Well, the church people can't know I'm gay. I'm thinking, well, see, I never grew up, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I didn't grow up in the church scene. I don't know I'm listening to this foolishness. I'm thinking, dude, everybody knows you gay. What is wrong with you?
But he didn't want the audience to know.
Do you think his audience, Tyler Perry's audience, didn't know that man was gay?
He was playing a be. I told him, he goes.
Do you think? No, answer this question truthfully.
We always suspected.
Y'all knew he was gay. We all knew. Everybody knew. So what was the purpose of even hiding it? Because they already knew. Name any of these actors in the Christian community, these gospel singers. Do you know some gay gospel singers?
Yeah.
You know they gay, right?
Yeah.
And they still gospel singers, right?
Yeah.
They still singing,
Yeah.
still have careers, still getting paid, never lost, still doing concerts and shows, but we all know they're gay. Do you think Tyler Perry would have lost anything?
No.
And what triggered me about Tyler Perry in particular is he had an opportunity to really change the view of black gay men. Because here you were, a successful black gay man, running this really good production company, running plays, TV show, all that stuff. If he just had embraced so many things that he could have been a bridge for the black community, the straight community, the Christian community, the church community, whatever, so many things could have been corrected or just dealt with versus lying. Now, have you ever heard Tyler Perry say, "I'm not gay"?
No.
Okay. So he's never acknowledged that either.
And
at least I haven't never heard him say it.
And he's dumped millions of dollars into the church. I remember one year he gave TD Jakes like $1 million.
That mess. Well, I will say since the very beginning, since I've met Tyler Perry from day one, he's always been a very religious. I'm atheist. So for me personally, and that was a journey within myself to get to be an atheist. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. But Tyler Perry has always been on that journey that he's on with this God and Jesus and all this other stuff. He's just not I just find that most Christian people are just not good people. Especially when it comes to money. They're just not good. But he has been generous. I will acknowledge that Tyler Perry has been generous to certain people, certain stuff going on.
I think when it's press involved.
Yeah, well, there were some people that I personally knew that Tyler Perry was generous to.
Uh-huh.
I could say that. I will acknowledge that. There were some people, but I think it was more to silence them.
Silence them about what?
His past, his sexuality, who he was. I'm going to pay you for this. I want you to sign this. Sign here. Okay, good. Now you can go decorate my house.
I felt like when the lawsuit started hitting Tyler Perry, that this was the last person that should have a lawsuit that I'm reading on my desk.
Mm-hmm. Who, Tyler?
You are a single man.
Mm-hmm.
You're extremely wealthy. It's not like, you have any obligations or commitments to anybody.
No.
Why are you still
lying.
Not acknowledging and
Why are you still lying
about your sexuality?
Well, do you know Christian men? How many Christian men do you deal on a regular basis? How many Christian black men do you deal? Because I deal with them all the time. The ones that
claim they Christian, the ones that are out of the closet to me, but they're usually just gay. I get pushback for that on my platform because
I don't know why it's the truth.
I tell them the only people that you see in the church are gay black men and black women.
That's it.
And then the gay black men, the DL black men are marrying the black women.
Right. That's all you see.
That's all you see.
So Tyler's walking down that same path that he's seen since he was a child. This has been going on in the black church community since forever.
So why all of because it's pandering to the black community with these stories that I feel that are just...
But he makes money off the bullshit. This is why him and Oprah fell out. Because remember, Oprah went to him and said, hey, we need to change some of the material. Let's upgrade this stuff now. Let's bring in some writers. Let's bring in some people. And maybe Tyler Perry, I don't want to pay nobody. I can do this mess myself. I'm writing. A 5-year-old could have wrote most of Tyler Perry's stuff.
Yeah.
So Tyler didn't want to pay extra staff and extra people to... Tyler Perry had a chance to be... What's the girl who has the TV show on Thursday nights? Shalonda. What's her name? Shalonda.
I can't think of her name.
Rhymes. How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh,
Miss Shalonda.
Davis.
No, Shalonda. I forget. She has an excellent. She has done a very good job for a Black woman of creating some really good shows, well written stuff, really good entertainment, and I think Tyler Perry blew that opportunity. He continues to blow it because he just won't. I remember a few years ago, he just probably said, "Oh, I write all my stuff." I was almost threw up. I said, "Oh Lord, I write everything. I do everything." I said, "We can tell. You're not working with nobody. We can tell, and you haven't upgraded this
And
mess
it's a
at
very
all."
kind of one track
Oh, it's terrible.
mind thinking. It's always extreme. It depicts Black people in just
He
such
can't, but he's
mockery and buffoonery. And I stand behind Spike Lee when Spike Lee
Oh
talks
yeah,
about.
when Spike Lee said that years ago, I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's
finally
horrible.
somebody's saying something." It was the crazy part.
There's no education behind the story.
When Tyler Perry was doing those plays, and they got real popular, and this was in the late '90s. I remember coming home Thanksgiving dinner at my house. I had this beautiful house in downtown Atlanta. My family members would all come over. They said, "Oh, we got this DVD. We want to play this." And I'm like, "What is this DVD? What is it?" It was Tyler Perry's plays. They had bootleg DVDs of all these plays that people had recorded. And I remember the first time me seeing them plays in that manner on the television was in my Thanksgiving dinner at my family's house. They wanted to watch all these DVDs, and the plays were actually hilarious.
Yeah, very hilarious.
Very hilarious. And I remember thinking, okay, this is funny, but I can't
If
wait
it's
for
comedy, stick to comedy. But then
Right.
when you start to tell dramatic stories,
Mhm.
like have some deftness to it.
I
Like,
definitely think he destroyed the movie for Black girls. What was it called? It was a book.
for Color Girls,
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
I think the book is excellent. Have you read the
I
book?
haven't read the book, but I
Take some
heard a
time.
lot
The
of people
book,
were
read the book.
pissed when
Here's the way he altered that from the book. But I was like, okay, wow, I can't believe that. And I pray and hope he never gets hold of Elon Harris' stuff because he'll butcher it.
back in the day around Tyler, was he more flamboyant?
Oh, well, he's always been just the same person, kind of quiet, but very churchy, very. I remember one time when I used to go to church. I was sitting at this church. New Beginnings. Yeah, everybody gave a go to this church called New Beginnings. So I started going to New Beginnings. So, it was Sunday. New Beginnings is the hot church. Everybody was there. You see everybody there. And I remember sitting there in the church, sitting up there, and church had got started. And then all of a sudden the doors opened up and everybody kind of looked back. And it was Tyler Perry coming in with this woman. And it was this elaborate. He had this fur coat on. I'm thinking, what is this for production? What is going on here? They came on down and set him in the front row. And I was thinking, and he made a massive donation to that church too. At this point, this was in the 90s, late 90s, where people were dropping dead from AIDS left and right. And it's concerned me. It really didn't concern me, but Tyler really could have made such a massive difference in how Black gay men viewed themselves, how we view each other, how he could have uplifted the community. But once he got with Oprah, it was a wrap. It was over with.
Lee Daniels was always comfortable with who he was.
Well, Lee Daniels' stuff,
and his stuff was pretty quality.
I think so too. I do, because he did Precious.
Do you feel like there was always kind of like a jealousy between?
No,
Tyler
I
and Lee
couldn't tell you
Daniels?
that much, but I do think Lee Daniels. I met Lee Daniels. He's a complicated gay man. I don't think Lee Daniels is. In just my opinion, I could be wrong. I've met Lee Daniels, and he's not really. He's Black, but he really ain't.
He's like white boy, white Black. Okay, white
Right.
boy.
So he deals more with the white gay community. I've never seen, and I could be wrong because I don't know this man. I would like to have seen him more involved in the Black gay community, and I never saw that. And no difference than some of my friends don't like Don from CNN. What's his name?
Lemon.
He used to live in Atlanta. I see him at the gym all the time. Don was another person. Never saw him around Black gays. Always around a group of white guys, white gays, white. Lee Daniels, every time I saw Lee Daniels running around a lot of white gay men, I've never seen him in a setting with other Black gays. Where Tyler was around predominantly all black gay men. I've never seen Tyler around a bunch of white gays. So that was kind of a surprise that this guy who's suing him was white. I'm like, okay, so Tyler Perry was a swing, but he like...
He likes the pretty boys. I mean, he was on a boat. He was on a yacht with Brian Tonka, Mariah Carey's ex.
Well, I think Tyler Perry... maybe they haven't. The lawsuit has. What has Tyler Perry said about the lawsuit?
He's just trying to get it moved up out of California to Georgia because he has more pull here.
So you're trying to transfer
in the federal courts, but in California, Dylan knew to sue in California because they lawsuit. I mean, celebrities don't have any pull in the courts.
Gotcha.
In Georgia, he can kind of manipulate federal courts and get things like. Just thrown out
or dismissed because he hasn't. But he has not acknowledged it at all.
He says that they were friends.
Okay.
He says that he's just abusing the friendship. But I read the text messages.
I suspect that there are probably a lot of other people who have been silenced. Tyler's very good at silencing people because think about it. Somebody give you 100,000 or 200,000 or 50,000. For you to get someplace, sit down and shut the fuck up, you do it to it, right?
Yeah, yeah. It depends.
The average black person who ain't got Tyler's very good at choosing people who don't have anything, so you have that power over them. That's why we never got along. Because I always had my own money, and I'm like, okay, Tyler, you can play these games with these other folks, but you're not gonna play this game with me. We're gonna see eye to eye. And Tyler knew he could manipulate me. So he left me alone, but he could manipulate all them other people around him. When Tyler and I would talk, it was a completely different world than how he was treating the rest of them people. He treated me with respect. The rest of these people, I'd be like, okay, y'all really jumping around like this? Tyler had a rule at his house that if Oprah was over there, no one could say anything to Oprah. Nobody can come in the room. Nobody can do this. He had all these rules and regulations, which I kind of get. I understand. But after he got with Oprah, everything changed with Mr. Perry. He got rid of the security team. He got rid of the people who were working with him. He started everybody had to sign these NDAs.
Because Oprah was living downtown, Buckhead at the St. Regis. And so she would be in there a lot at the restaurants that were downtown. And Buckhead and stuff. So, and she started spending a whole lot of time in Atlanta. And it was right around the time when her and Tyler were doing a lot of business together. Right.
They were trying to because her network was failing. If Tyler helped save OWN network at the same time, but he also destroyed her brand at the same time. Because her brand took I don't know what's going on with OWN network. I
don't know why, because the quality, a lot of people like to put Oprah's stories up on a pedestal because she was a black woman with a white audience, right?
Right. But her white audience was not watching those TV shows on OWN.
No. And she tried to take that white audience to give them that. What happened was
they rejected it.
People thought Oprah's quality of content was like above and beyond. But when you look at Oprah and just the setting and the amount of stories and the type of stories that she told, those stories were gossip.
Of course.
Well,
her show was a talk
scandal.
Show. It was a talk show.
Mistresses. Like it was wrapped up in the shock factor of it all.
But it was presented differently.
It was presented like it wasn't.
Right.
But if you peel the layers back, Oprah was one of the messiest bitches in television.
She was.
But she did it in a very poised, educated way.
The Michael Jackson interview, her biggest interview. That's a prime example of how she presented it and how she went after Michael.
Exactly.
In that interview.
But it was always like that. And they like to say, well, Wendy, it's Oprah and it's Wendy. I'm like, the problem between the two, Wendy was herself.
Right, Wendy was truthful.
She didn't try to hide it. Oprah has always hidden who she really is. And that's what prompted her to go after Monique's family.
Okay.
Why would she go after Monique's family and bring her family on national television to talk about molesting Monique without Monique's permission?
Right.
Oprah is that type. She goes to the gutter. She loves the messy.
But she just presents it differently.
She does. But for them to have such a high pedestal for her, like she's just, quality. No, Gail does better content
Oh, I would agree.
than Oprah.
I would agree. I would agree. Well, I think maybe moving forward, I think Tyler probably, it would be best to, in my opinion, I think it would be best if he had just come on out and just embraced who he was. Versus right now he hasn't denied it, or I've never heard Tyler Perry deny his sexuality. I've never heard it.
But he's never actually
acknowledged it either.
And
I think we all know what's going on. Does
but
he
I
have to
think too
acknowledge
because
it?
he likes straight black men.
Straight presenting black men? Because you can't, if you straight, I'm gay. Straight presenting, is that what you're talking about? Let's just be truthful about this, because a straight man is not going to have sex with a gay man if he's straight.
True. But what about Christian Keys?
I think Christian Keys was someone who, first off, you and I both know, the whole Hollywood thing, it's a tough world, ain't it?
It's very tough.
That's why
my daughter is so pissed that I won't refer her to like agencies and stuff.
You're trying to save her.
That I look like.
Well, you're trying to save her.
I had one of the biggest agencies reach out to me. Oh, the People Store. You heard of the People Store? It was like, yeah, we want to. No.
I've never understood the whole, there's no money in it, but the vast majority of actors and actresses and producers.
There's not enough to go around.
No, well, not in the black community, no.
Especially not. They treat the black, like Hollywood community, like they treat the black community.
I would agree.
There's no budget.
No, yeah.
But they know black folks gonna show up for their role dressed if they have to go in their own pockets to make sure they look good on screen. But they don't get the same budgets that white actors do. Just like black stars don't get the same budgets as white stars.
So Christian Keys, what's the show that he's a part of?
All the Queens Men.
Right. So
but he had came out saying that there was a billionaire that he has recorded that was soliciting him.
Yeah. So
who do you think he was talking about?
I did a video about this, and I believe he was talking about Tyler Perry. But with that said, if I'm correct, that show is produced by Tyler Perry. Am I correct? Yeah. Because the original, the first season wasn't produced by Tyler Perry.
No.
It was when the second season when they ran out, they needed money, they needed backing.
Do you think Christian Keys did that in order to get Tyler Perry to produce his shows?
Did what? What do you mean?
Like, threatened to come out that he was going to expose it?
No, I think Tyler Perry probably, because he's a very handsome looking guy. We already know the type of guys that Tyler Perry like. He like nice looking guys, so I think he
light skin, nice curly hair.
He kind of been pegged what he like. You can tell. So
you think Christian Keys is gay?
I don't necessarily think he's gay. I just think that Tyler Perry may have someone, because he never identified who it was. Let's just keep that. Let's just say.
But Dylan came out of his lawsuit and said that Tyler had settled with someone who had exposed him.
I'm not surprised.
On
Tyler
the incident. I was like, how did Dylan know that? Because
Tyler might have settled with a whole lot of people and probably would have settled with this guy if Dylan was just if he wanted the money. I think Tyler probably would have settled with him. So.
Oh, it's not Dylan. It's Derek Dixon.
Dixon, okay.
Yep, Derek Dixon's suing him for $260 million.
Okay.
So I'm glad I didn't put a last name to it. I always call him. But Derek Dixon is the one that's suing Tyler Perry, who said in his lawsuit that another man had came out exposing Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry had paid him, and he went silent. And everyone kind of...
Well, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, that's just par for the course when you're dealing with people in Hollywood. They know if you're willing to...
But Derek said he wasn't gay.
He probably wasn't gay. Well, let me just say this.
Very handsome, but he says he wasn't gay.
Okay.
But I think a heterosexual man could tell that Tyler Perry is gay.
If you're not gay,
okay,
and I could be wrong, this man brought you a Jeep.
He bought him a Jeep within days of meeting him.
Has anybody ever brought you a Jeep?
My husband.
Okay. Any other than your husband, has any man, woman, cat,
Just the
dog
only people
gave
I was
you?
messing with, only dudes that I was messing with.
They brought you a car.
Bought me cars.
Okay, that you wouldn't have messing, but you having.
Yeah, I was having intercourse, absolutely.
Right, and they brought you a car.
Of course.
That must be some good coochie.
Yes.
They gave you a car.
Yes.
All right, so Charlie gives this man a car out of the blue.
Derek said he's never Tyler Perry, is what he's saying.
I can see that. It's a possibility. They had never got that far. I guess Tyler got a lot of money. A Jeep is, in the scheme of things, you know, a Jeep is about $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Let's just say it was fully loaded, $50,000, $60,000 Jeep.
That's like nothing for him.
That's nothing. So maybe Tyler felt that by offering him certain things that he would get what he wanted at the end of the day. Has anyone ever offered you, gave you stuff, but you really weren't interested in it?
Yeah.
But they were still giving you stuff. Did you decline the stuff?
I used to see men do that to my mom all the time. I'll never forget. There was this short, fat, ugly nerd dude. He came to my mama's house at like 8 o'clock at night. He had went shopping for her and bought her all this name brand stuff. Dropped it off, had some stuff for us, and my mom was like, I can't do it. So she gave it all to us. We wore it to school and everything like that. But like, men do that and they don't get anything in return. They just
well, he was hoping to get something in return.
I mean, he was, but he was just too round for my mama.
She didn't like him, huh?
He was like 400 pounds.
Do you think? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He rocked the taxi.
They were no Ozempic around back then.
No. He walked in like, you know, he just wanted to take care of my mama and take care of us. And my mama was like, as tempting as it sounds.
So did your mom make a mistake by not allowing him to? Because he probably would have been a great provider.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, at the same time, you got to be somewhat attracted to the person.
Do you really?
And not ashamed of them.
I wish somebody would come. Listen, if anybody out there want to come take care of me, listen, I've never had anybody give me anything. Nothing. I'm 55 years of age. I'm glad when somebody gonna go shop and buy me some clothes, I'd be so grateful. Oh, this stuff is nice. You want me to date you? Okay, well, let me think about it. Okay, fine. I thought about it. Let's make it work. Because anybody ever gave me anything. You know, so for your mom to turn away a guy who could have been a good, you know.
I mean, he could have been, but she was just like,
get him, take him, go get him back,
but them was some nice ass clothes, boy. And me and my mom were the same size, so I wore them all to school. I was decked out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So Tyler brought him a Jeep, gave him a roll, gave him money. All the whole time Tyler was trying him too, right?
As his boss,
he was trying to get with him.
Yeah, he was.
Right. So it wasn't like, so.
Yeah. But has he always been like that? A trick?
Well, Tyler ain't the best looking guy out there. Now, he do got some money, but not my type.
He's got like his face looks like the mask, like a porcelain face.
Is he your type? Would you date with Tyler Perry? No. Okay. No. So he's never been attractive. Not the most attractive guy. We all not acknowledge
that. But he tries to present very straight in his films, like when he tries. But it still comes off as
fake.
Very, very much gay. Fake.
It's not real. What was the movie he did as a detective? He played the role of a detective in a movie. It was horrible. It wasn't his own movie. I forget the name of that role. He was running around playing some type of investigator or something. It was not good.
I can't think of it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He has so many films, but...
Listen up, active duty members as well as veterans. Miss Kanisha Hayes from Jacksonville, Florida, works for Florida Gateway Realty, and she can help you own a brand new construction home in Jacksonville as well as the surrounding areas. Now, all you got to do is hit up Miss Kanisha Hayes with Florida Gateway Realty to see if you qualify for up to $2,000 in realtor rebate credit for a brand new construction home. And get this, with a VA loan, you may qualify for 0 down. That means nothing, nada at the table. And when you combine that, you can cover things like appraisal, binder money, as well as inspections with the rebate money. And of course, it's all depending on lender guidelines, but she gonna make sure she can get the most for you. So if you're in the Jacksonville area or surrounding areas that's near Jacksonville, hit up Kanisha Hay right after this video at kanishahay.com/veterans.
Clips out there about you sometimes do show you a very angry black woman kind of life.
I am an angry black woman. I am am angry that my sisters are dying at ridiculous rates of heart disease, maternal death. I am stressed. I am angry that I live in a nation that lies to us and has been, and people still aren't sure how to make it make sense.
You've never heard of Candace Owens?
I don't know her.
Your messages are very similar.
I am a radical leftist.
Do you date?
Who's gonna date me?
There are other people like you that you can date.
Name them.
I'm not a matchmaker.
I have 5 cats and a dog. I love being a cat lady. And the other day I was driving and I had like my dog and my 3 cats in the car going to the vet, and I was like, wow, this is the life you chose. I haven't had sex or been kissed in 2 years.
Do you think that
And
has a
my
lot
skin
to
is
do with
clear.
your anger too sometime?
No. I think that's actually very unintellectual for you to ask.
No.
Yes.
Because as Black women, we have to release.
So I don't have a vibrator?
Your friend group.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying about Tyler and his success and
Well,
just where he came from, where he is now?
the ones that are still alive now, because a lot of people
Yeah.
have died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A lot of people died from AIDS. So
Okay.
that's another thing. A lot of people that we mutually knew, they all deceased. That seems to be working in Tyler. That's one way to silence somebody. If they dead, they can't say a word. So you got a lot of people who have died. And I speak to a lot of people who have knew Tyler at the time. I mean, I talked to Eric occasionally. Him and Eric fell out. This is how the Eric and Tyler Perry fell out. Tyler hired Eric to decorate his home off West Paces Ferry.
Okay.
Do the furniture, the home and interior decorator. Eric was supposed to decorate Tyler's house, and then he was going to go decorate Oprah's house in Hawaii that she had purchased. So it's because Eric has great taste. Eric's amazing talent.
Mm-hmm.
As Eric was decorating Tyler Perry's house, and this was maybe 2008, 2007, 2008, massive house. Took forever for this curtains. You know, this is an elaborate home. Paint, curtains, textures, fabrics, sofas. As Eric's ordering stuff for his house, Eric had brought him a brand new house. About 5, 6, 7,000 square foot house. Eric didn't have any money for furniture. So as Eric was ordering stuff, you know,
He put something to the side for himself.
a couch, two of them, 2 of those. We're going to 2 of these pictures. But what he did, what Eric failed to realize is that one thing Oprah did teach Tyler was go through that stuff. Go through everything, sign them checks, read stuff. So as Eric walked, as Tyler's house was completed, Tyler was looking around his house like, well, I thought I had 2 of these couches. Where's the other couch? I got 2 of these pictures. Where's the other one? Where's the stuff at? You know, Tyler ain't no fool. He looking, wow, where's the stuff? This is a massive house. Now Tyler done walked through 20, 30, 40,000 square foot house, and he's missing some items. They're not there. He goes over to Eric's house, ring the doorbell. Eric gets a surprise. Tyler Perry's at his house. Tyler Perry comes in. And guess what Tyler Perry finds?
The twins.
The furniture that's missing throughout Eric's house. He walking through the house, talking to Eric, laughing. Tyler was no fool. Eric should never have done that. Never. Tyler walked him through there. This is his best friend now. They friends at this point. He didn't hire you to that. You about to go do Oprah's house. But you got $10,000 and $20,000 couches in your home. Now Tyler done paid you for decorating the house, paid you good, paid you well. But you didn't you stole from him. When Tyler Perry left that house, Eric raced over to my house. I'm like, what is going on? Tyler just left my house. I'm like, okay, and what's the issue, Walter? And he told me everything he did. I said, okay, you shouldn't have done that.
How much furniture was it?
Oh my God, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of furniture. You think Tyler was not going to know this?
Yeah.
That he wasn't going to realize that these is expensive furniture? You thought you were going to give away I mean, all the stuff that Tyler's looking for, that he's paid for, it's not in his home. It's in your house. So that was the end of that.
So they haven't been friends since?
Nah, that's kind of a tough one there. you done stole quite a bit of money. Think about that. The crazy part, this is my, people have to be careful with how they move. Because he was supposed to go do Oprah's house.
And he probably would have did Oprah the same.
If he just do things the right way, he would have did Oprah's house. Oprah would have got the house published in a magazine. He could have got more clients. He could have a whole nother lifestyle doing interior decorating that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, you try to decorate your own house. And stole, and that's when their friendship came to an end. Which I get it. I mean, kind of hard to get past that, huh?
So do you feel like one day maybe Tyler will come out and, I mean, no, it's not any of our business what his sex life is, but I just feel like when you represent and then you're misrepresenting and taking advantage and abusing power to help manipulate people, because when people see figures like Tyler Perry, he may not understand that they get intimidated.
Well, okay, let's look back in the history of Black entertainment. We know many Black entertainers who were gay who never came out. What comes to mind, the guy who plays the piano.
Luther Vandross. Teddy Pendergrass.
What's the other guy who played the piano for years? He's
but we knew he was gay. Richie
not Simmons. Richard.
You think Donnie Simmons is gay?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's
a pretty motherfucker.
I mean, I saw something recently. He's still alive.
He's still alive. He's still working for Magic.
I thought he was married. I guess I don't mean.
Maybe he is, and I apologize, Donnie Simpson. I just didn't know.
Yeah, being married don't mean I didn't met plenty of married men who were gay. So a whole lot of them, truthfully. But
Tyler telling allegedly, according to Derek. Dixon to maintain a heterosexual relationship publicly, but still be around for Tyler when he wants, but he can't sleep with any other men. I heard that story before with a guy named Dwayne Youngblood who TD Jakes recently sued, and then he quietly dismissed the lawsuit. He said that, TD Jakes had propositioned him in that manner. That he would maintain a relationship but always be available for him, but cannot sleep with.
Have we gotten to a point where Black gay entertainers can? Because I could be wrong. Did name me one Black gay successful entertainer.
Well, they won't come out the closet. So what are we supposed to do?
So I'm asking you: have we as Black Americans or Black American? Are we ready to accept a Black gay entertainer who's out and proud?
Yes.
Name me one then.
I believe if Will Smith came out the closet, we wouldn't change a thing.
But forget Will. I'm talking about somebody who's proud and out and living and thriving. Can you name one?
No.
You're more in the entertainment world than me. I'm more in fitness.
I can't. Not one.
So we can't even name one, but we suspect there are some there though. So something's going on here why these people stay quiet about their sexuality. Is it because we're not ready as Black people to accept it? Is it a community of agents and are agents telling people you need to hide this? I mean, you can't name. We know there are some gay actors and singers and dancers out there.
But I just feel out of everything that Tyler Perry has built, he is the last person that I should be reading a lawsuit on regarding his sexuality.
Well, I would agree.
That's just stupid to me.
It was dumb on his behalf, right?
Yes.
He set himself up, right?
Yes.
If this stuff is true.
Exactly.
So, could it have been avoided? How many lawsuits you didn't have against doing some crazy shit like that?
Man, none.
I've
like
been saying
that.
here, I haven't had any lawsuits.
Not like
I'm not
that,
doing
but I got
crazy.
lawsuits now, just not, but that.
Were you? I'm just curious because I don't know. I remember. Were you the girl who was sued by Cardi B?
Yep.
I thought so. I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of. I didn't have that. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we get lawsuits, but not about me hiding who I am, and I just feel like we need that representation because, Black gay men still say, I can't do everything that I want to do. They'll sometimes compare themselves to me, like, Tasha, you're a Black woman. You can show up in a space and be a Black woman. They're going to accept you either way. But me, I have to walk a certain way, act a certain way. And I'm like,
are they lying?
I don't think so because we love, especially us as black women.
There's a new singer out, Bernard. What's Bernard's name? Bernard. Have you seen his stuff? He's a black gay guy. His name is Bernard. He's very flamboyant. Where is he? I can't think of his name. Bernard something. But he has a. Let me check my library.
I'm looking right now.
I know his name is Bernard. He just sold out shows in Paris. But anyway, he's gay. He's out, flamboyant. He's having some success. He's doing very well. I can't. Very great song. Singer. I can't at the top of my head think of any actors or producers. But there are a few. You know, there are some people who are having some success and people know that they're gay. There are a few. Are they having massive success on the scale of Tyler Perry? I mean, we might not ever see another Tyler Perry type producer. I hope we do see something because, you know, we had some really good ones. We had, like you just said a second, what was the other producer name? We've had some really good producers over the years. What was his name? You just said his name a second ago.
Lee Daniels.
Yeah. But the other one, the bigger one. Little short guy who don't like who at one point went up against Tyler Perry. Yeah, well, I can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name right now.
From Do the Right Thing. What is it?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
Yeah.
We've had some good producers. One of the guy, he died recently, a few years back. There was a really good producer. I can't think of his name either. But I guess the question I'm saying is that when it comes to sexuality in the black community, when will black people be happy to accept people for who let them live their lives? Living the truth.
We respect it more when you come out.
Right.
And own the shit.
But do we?
I do.
You know?
I can't speak for anybody else,
Right.
but I do.
Do we support their music? Do we support their movies? Do we support their stuff?
Yes.
Would Tyler Perry have received the same love and support that he has been receiving?
I love Luther Vandross.
Okay.
I don't give a gay, straight, whoever.
Would
Luther
you
Vandross
have still loved him had he been alive now today and said, I am
and
gay?
I would be at his concerts.
And that's the key to this. Because it isn't just Tyler, it's about the community.
Yeah.
And what we are willing to accept, what we're willing to go to their movies, go to their concerts, you know, go support them.
And like I said, I've always known, I mean, Tyler Perry probably does about 6 Beyonce concerts a year. He dresses up as Beyonce. You know, he channels his inner femininity. You know what I'm saying? He loves that. And I've always known. I'm like, but when he popped out with a model, I was like, see, this is the shit that I'm talking about. That's the shit that pisses me off. Knowing this lady was a surrogate for you.
But yeah, I mean, he had a baby.
He didn't. I don't think, in my opinion, he slept with her. I think it was a transfer of semen. I think it was a Michael Jackson deal.
I think they figured out some way to impregnate that woman.
Yes.
And that's why I don't think they were having sex.
And he made sure he went and chose one of the most, beautiful women out there to make sure he had his baby.
And that's nothing wrong with that. People do that every day. I don't see anything wrong with that.
So,
I guess the question is, because I was criticized even by my own mother. You outed Tyler Perry. I'm thinking, Tyler Perry been out for a while. We just didn't want to acknowledge it publicly. I think we didn't want to accept it. I mean, I knew. When you first saw Tyler, did you immediately know he was gay?
Yeah.
Did you want to accept that?
I still supported him.
Was there any
even though his content is very
confusion in your mind about that man's sexuality the first day you saw him? Was there any confusion?
No.
Okay, so you knew.
Even though I knew, my husband and I were watching Divorce in the Black, and there was a scene that came on, and I was laying on the couch, he was working on a computer, and then Tyler Perry always, in my opinion, he'll probably have one bad in there, and her hair is laid, the rest wigs up, they got their makeup up, but the men,
they're always at on point.
They look like you. My husband looked up one day, he said, Tyler Perry gay. He just screamed that shit. He was like, why the would he? I was just like, and I know his audience is women.
Yeah.
But he's also putting.
He's giving them the eye candy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with eye candy, but we notice that he pays more attention to the men, the detail to the men than he does to the women.
I agree.
And the movie that he did, Mea Culpa, how he had the shot of the guy's ass. I've never seen that before.
He's done some more riskier stuff in recent years. What was the TV show he did? Oh gosh, what was that show? About these people being in some type of cult or something like that.
Yeah. He took that concept. There were some writers online talking about he stole that concept and shit. So, but like as far as how you used to know him versus now, do you feel like he's still the same? He's just richer?
Oh gosh,
still the same.
People don't change. I'm the same person I was 25 years ago. I mean, people don't change.
I'm nicer. I used to be a hothead.
I think as we all age, we all get a little bit,
calmer.
We get calmer. Yeah. So, but overall, you're still the same person. People really don't change. I was in a relationship with a man for 30 years. He died this year, and he was the same person from the day I first met him. And there was some positives and there was some negatives, But did he change? Did I change? I mean, we evolved. Evolution. We grow up and mature.
Right.
But now we're the same people from when we first met in 1996. So I suspect Tyler's the same person. And for some people, it's just easier to pay for sex or lure somebody that you like along those lines if you have the money. And I mean,
I feel that,
but wealth will attract people. When people think you got money, you become attractive.
Absolutely.
So the thing with Tyler, that Tyler could have been very happy by now in a stable relationship if that's what he wanted. Right? You got money, you got wealth, you got fame. Tyler could have probably had a very successful relationship, even very private, that we would have never known about if that's what he wanted. So obviously, if he's out there swimming in the ocean and he's still pursuing men who are not even pursuing him, something's not right here. I'm not going to pursue a straight man. I'm not going after some straight guy. He's straight and I'm buying you cheap clothes. Why am I hiring you for roles, doing all this stuff? No, I'd rather go after somebody I know is gay.
So why do you feel like he does that?
Control. Maybe he was just attracted to the guy. Maybe he felt that the guy was gay. Sometimes I've met guys I don't think this guy's gay. And I say, But I'm not one to really go pursue that individual. I'd rather just sit back and let somebody else figure it out. There are plenty of guys I met over the years. They said, I think he's gay. Then later on I found, he is gay because the truth got out. But I wasn't the person, I'm going to find out if this person's gay. I really don't have time.
When did you know that you were gay?
I knew I was gay in 1974.
When you were born?
I was born in 1970.
Okay.
I knew I was gay when I went to preschool.
What?
I knew I was gay when I went to preschool.
How?
1974, 1975, somewhere, but I would say 1975. When I went to preschool, I never forget this in Gary. There was a guy named Derek Green. Derek and I became very good friends in preschool. And I was just very attracted to Derek. And I knew in preschool, we were like this. Until well into my high school years when we moved out of Gary. But I knew something. I couldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah.
I just knew as a little kid, I was different from everybody. I knew in preschool, in the kindergarten, first grade, I said, something's just not right here. And as I grew older, we had encyclopedias back then. We didn't have no internet or nothing. But throughout the 70s, I was asking myself, what is going on here? As I got older, I just came to accept I'm gay. And I realized, okay, something's weird here is going on.
Did your mom know? Dad know?
They knew. Everybody knew.
But you?
Well, you saying then?
Yeah.
I think when you're dealing with little kids at that point, I knew something was I was just a kid. I don't think no one knew what was going on until I became much older. And then I didn't really embrace who I was until I was 18 years of age. That's when I started exploring my sexuality. But I knew the answer to your question, I knew as a very little kid. And so when people say they don't know.
My cousin was born gay. Shout out to Aries because we all just knew when he was a kid. So
a possibility.
He was like, you knew? I'm like, yeah, I knew. Like you would play with vacuum cleaners. Like you wanted to do what the girls did. Like you didn't want to do, we would try to get you to play with that little boy. No, you wasn't going outside playing no football. None of that, And so, and then it was just his mannerisms, and now he's and he's always been very proud. His mother, for some reason, lost her shit when she found out. But I was just like, but we told you.
But she was in denial then.
Exactly. Like, what the are you doing? We told you.
Well, she was clearly,
she was hurt. Like, I'm not going to get no grandkids. I was like, yes, you are.
You know what's so crazy? When Earl first got sick, my partner, I was in denial. Oh, I was in straight up denial. I was in denial about how sick he was. I was in denial about what was going to happen. I wouldn't listen to them doctors and them nurses. Earl was going to live. I had made, he going to work. I bought a car to take him to work. We going to get a wheelchair. You going back to work. He earned, I was in denial. Right up to the day that man died. The day after my birthday, I was in complete denial. I remember when I look back on, there was some doctors and nurses from hospitals that came to the house, and I was talking to them. And I was like, well, I'm ordering a wheelchair. We're going to need a wheelchair, so we put it in the car because the girl's going back to work in the next few weeks. And they looked at me like, they sat across that table and they were like, huh? And I remember sitting there thinking, why are they looking at me like that? And because they knew.
You were in denial, yeah.
They were like, okay, he don't get it. And so, for me, that was my first time in my life being in complete denial about a situation. So, your cousin's mom, that's your cousin, right? She may have been in complete denial for years. Just, it's not true. Just, she knew, just denial. For a good year leading up to Earl's death, I was in denial. Completely and it literally, I was broadsided when he died. I'm like, this man didn't die over here. I'm like, okay, what has happened here? And it took me a long time. I literally had to pick myself up off the floor in shock because being in denial isn't a good thing. It can be a bad thing because you don't do the right stuff.
Exactly.
You're not doing the things that need to be done.
Preparing.
You're not doing it because you got a whole nother, you doing something else. The truth is here, but I don't know, you're in a fantasy world. So a lot of gay men live in a fantasy world. They're in denial. Their wives are in denial. Their family members are in denial. Their kids, they're in denial. Oh, he's not gay. My husband's not gay. Yeah, your husband's gay.
Do you know, what are some signs that women could look for when they're with DL men and don't know it?
Well,
I mean, you've been around a long time.
That's a tough one though, because it's kind of hard to put your finger on this. It's so much stuff that you could say. Ultimately, and I've had this conversation with several women about their husbands, and their husbands turn out to be gay or were gay or come out as gay. These women kind of felt it. They felt something wasn't right. Whether when they were having sex, the way they interacted, they felt something was kind of off. They couldn't put their finger on it. Could have been denial. Maybe they really loved this person and they just didn't want to let that person go. And that, I can see that. I mean, because there's a very good friend of mine, have 8 kids. When I met him, he had a little baby. Brought his wife to my house. Little baby, 8 kids. I'm like, oh, these kids, what the fuck is going on here? But something in my soul said, I think this man is gay.
Do men that are DL typically have a bunch of kids?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. But he had all his kids, but the good thing with this particular person, except for one, all his kids were with his wife. But I find a lot of DL guys have like, and maybe I don't know why they have all these kids by maybe various different women, or maybe one wife, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. Is like, okay, well, these kids.
And then they turn out to be gay. Do you think they're having the kids to cover up the lie, or?
Yes and no, but I think they like having the kids. I think they like having the children around them. Because it's a tough world out here. I don't have any kids. And when Earl died, I was thinking, damn, I wish I had somebody to love me like my kids would love me if I had some kids here. Knowing the circumstances of the situation, I was thinking, God, I didn't be having kids. And I think that sometimes bisexual men realize those kids might be their only recourse. Do you understand?
That really truly love them for them.
Yep. I want to accept them. And I think that those kids might be, because in every situation I know of, them kids love their daddy. And they are the best fathers, I'm telling you. None of these gay guys that I know of, child support is paid, kids are taken care of, they have a nice home, everything's beautiful. And I say, wow, I mean, you will walk away from something that you have why are you leaving the circumstances? But at some point in time, they realize they're gay. And so once the kids get to a certain point, maybe graduating college or out of school. But now I've noticed that a lot of these guys are starting to leave a little bit sooner because these kids are younger now. It used to be the guys would wait until everybody was in college or damn near through college.
Yeah.
And then they would come out.
Have you ever been with a woman?
Never. I knew.
You're not curious about it?
Why? I already know.
I'm just trying to figure out. Are you curious?
I told you I knew who I was when I was in
I get
preschool.
it, but like I have a friend online, King Daily Push.
Okay.
He's late 20s, I want to say, maybe inching 30. He gets online. He's been gay his whole life. He tried vagina. He said, "Oh my God, what have I been missing?" And he is very flamboyant.
Okay.
And he said vagina was better than butt.
Well, it is very real. But
he said it smelled better, felt better. It
had
a lot of control.
I've always just known who I was.
Okay.
And I guess I got lucky to graduate high school, move to Atlanta, because Atlanta was a place where I didn't have to hide. When I moved to Atlanta in 1989, it was a Loretta
It's still
club.
like that though.
Well, the club was, you can live your life here. You could be out and walk down Peachtree Street. It wasn't a big deal. So for me, I was comfortable with who I was. And there was thousands of other people who looked like me here. I mean, excuse me, but AIDS kind of decimated this town at one point.
I know I have a very, very good friend of mine who caught AIDS with his first interaction with a man. He had left North Carolina under a religious household, came to Atlanta, met somebody at Piedmont Park, had sex with him.
Wow.
6 months later, he was in the hospital fighting for his life.
Wow. That's it. I can see that. I've seen that.
First time.
I can see it. I believe you. Where's he at now?
I don't know.
Okay. So you know he made
the last time I spoke with him was maybe a few years ago, and he had checked himself into a mental institution. He just could not live with the fact.
Some tough times.
And his dad he said his dad used to beat him so bad.
Oh, wow.
Because he was just like, he knew he was gay.
Yeah.
And he was trying to beat it out of him. But the whole time,
wow,
his dad went to prison for about 15 years and had a boyfriend. But still was married to their mom.
Wait, his dad was gay? Is that what you're saying? Wow.
Trying to beat it out of his son.
But he's gay. Make sense.
But still was with the mom.
That's crazy. Not surprising. And you wonder why these people in a public Hollywood celebrity, why a celebrity would hide their sexuality. They just don't live a normal life. Maybe that's why Tyler's You know, and especially somebody like Tyler who's embracing the Christian religion, the church, and making donations. Would the church community reject him? That was our big argument. That he didn't want nobody to know he was gay because the church, you know, he had a lot of church people at that time who won his plays, and you know, he knew who his audience was. Yeah, because he was going to the churches, passing out flyers. He knew what churches to go to. And people at the church, they're looking for some entertainment to do. Oh, yeah, this play's in town. Let's go. You know, it's a Christian theme play.
Okay.
You know, would he have lost it? That's what I'm thinking.
What about the rumors surrounding TD Jakes?
You know, I've heard so much stuff over the years about TD Jakes. Just,
do you feel like there's any, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire?
It could be. I've heard a lot of shit. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff.
Like what?
Just
allegedly. Everything's allegedly. This is rumors, unverifiable. We cannot confirm or deny.
Before we go to TD Jakes, in the late 90s or mid 90s, I had a house in Lithonia. Beautiful house I had built out in Lithonia. And a friend of mine named Antonio would come and visit me. And Antonio was into these young guys. He loved these young guys. And I'll never forget one day in my driveway, he said, oh yeah, Antonio came to my house. He's like, this guy's coming over. I said, well, who's coming over? He said, some friend of mine. And I looked out my window and it was this $400,000 Bentley or Rolls Royce parked in the driveway. I'm like, well, who is this? I said, oh, I'm a car fanatic, so I walked outside to go see what is going on. What is this car? And I saw this little kid behind the wheel of this car. I'm like, well, whose car is this? This must be his daddy's car or something. No, he's like, oh, this guy, he lets me drive his car. I'm like, well, who is this guy? It was Bishop Eddie Long. And I didn't know who Eddie Long was at that point. He was a pastor. And I'm looking at this car and I'm looking at this little kid. And at that time, I was probably about 28, 29 years of age. No, I was about 26, 27.
Doggy.
This was a little kid. Probably about 16, 17, 18 years of age in this expensive car.
Coming to see your friend Antonio, who happens to be gay.
Yes. So I'm sitting, and I said, so Antonio didn't know that because the car pulled. I was in my office working. And I looked up and saw this car pull up out there. I had to go out there and see what was going on. And that was the first time I heard about Eddie Long. And I remember sitting there, and I asked Antonio about that later on. I was like, well, why is he driving Eddie Long's car? And I had to get on the internet, who was Eddie Long? And that's the church was New Birth.
Out in Stone Mountain, yeah.
Yeah, this is when they were over there off of, they had built the big one yet.
Okay.
He was still over there off Wesley Chapel at that point. And I was thinking, what is this kid doing driving this man's car? And I remember asking, this was a kid. I'm thinking, is this his dad? What's going on? Why would somebody allow him? And it was the first I started to hear these stories that Bishop Eddie Long was doing this, Eddie Long was doing that. And some of the stuff you don't know what to believe. It's kind of like, is this true? You know, so when I first started hearing those stories about Eddie Long back in the night, which I didn't even know who he was because I wasn't into the church community, I didn't know what to believe. So I didn't grow up in the church. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So when people started saying TD Jakes this and TD Jakes that and TD Jakes when I was hearing this in the community, I didn't know who he was either.
In your community?
Oh, yeah.
The LGBTQ community?
In the gay community.
Hello.
So I didn't know who he was. But
well, what would they say?
Oh, I escorted for him and I went here and I did this and I did that. And I'm like, well, who is this TD Jakes person?
I got to tell you, like, I still get sick, okay? But the way I used to get sick versus the way I get sick now, I no longer require hospitalization because I used to have to go to the hospital, go to the emergency room. I no longer require all of these drugs to get over it. And so generally, my sicknesses don't last more than 4 days, maybe 6 at the most, okay? So these are my top 4. All over oregano, sea moss, mango flavor, I like the mango, liquid D3, as well as T-cell and NK cell mushroom Vitamix. In conjunction with your doctor. I'm not a doctor at all. and I don't pretend to be one. I'm only telling you what I know by experience. And so if you want to support your body with these supplements as well, I do encourage you to visit shoptkdeals.com. Use my coupon code TK10 to get 10% off your first order so that you can try them. A lot of the supplements you can put on subscription, so that means that you can have them delivered to your door every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, and things like that. And so that you can stay on top of your health.
Clips out there about you sometimes do show you a very angry Black woman kind of life.
I am an angry Black woman. I am angry that my sisters are dying at ridiculous rates of heart disease, maternal death. I am stressed. I am angry that I live in a nation that lies to us and has been, and people still aren't sure how to make it make sense.
You've never heard of Candace Owens.
I don't know her.
Your messages are very similar.
I am a radical leftist.
Do you date?
Who's gonna date me?
There are other people like you that you can date.
Name them.
I'm not a matchmaker.
I have 5 cats and a dog. I love being a cat lady. And the other day I was driving and I had like my dog and my 3 cats in the car going to the vet, and I was like, wow, this is the life you chose. I haven't had sex or been kissed in 2 years.
Do you think that has a lot to do with your anger too sometime?
No. I think that's actually very unintellectual for you to ask.
No.
Yes.
Because as Black women, we have to release.
So I don't have a vibrator?
And Powderhouse, right? Yeah. So I would hear
I
stuff.
know in y'all community, y'all talk, y'all know.
Well, remember now, in our community, you got a lot of people who are gay, but nobody knows they're gay. But you can also remember there's a lot of secrecy going on. So if I'm over here escorting with whoever, you have to remember, at this point in my life, I didn't even know what an escort was. So when I started to hear this stuff, I'm like, escort? What is going on here? So as I got older and people started talking more, oh yeah, I was here and there. I had a friend who was with Diddy. I'm like, okay, what were you doing with Diddy? And I remember just being very naive about a lot of stuff. And I heard about, from my friend who was with Diddy, that would have to been in, I was living in Buckhead, early 2000s, 2003, 2004. I remember people saying he went to Diddy, he was with Diddy and they was doing some stuff with Diddy. And I was thinking, what stuff? He wouldn't go into detail. He said, what were you doing with Diddy? He wouldn't even call Diddy at that point. He was called Puff Daddy. So I was like, Sean Combs.
I mean, Sean Combs do got thick thighs and a fat ass now.
Well, this person was a actor. And when he started telling me this stuff, you don't know what to believe. You know, it's like, is this true? Why would he be with this individual? And then
everything came out.
So that's the crazy part. Eddie Long, in the early mid-90s, I was talking, seeing what was going on, hearing stuff, not necessarily believing it. Because my friend Antonio was running around with these guys. I'm thinking like, well, it was a couple of guys. Kids. And I was thinking like high schoolers. I'm thinking, what are you doing with these? Antonio was probably in his, I was 26, 27. Antonio was probably in his early 20s. But these boys were definitely underage. They were definitely underage. And I'm thinking.
And they were gay.
Yes. Yep. Yep. So it's just so funny. So I heard the stories about Eddie Long, then I heard the stories about Diddy, and I heard the stories about TDJ. I mean, so you hear stuff, and you're like, is it true? Is it real? Then you find out, oh yeah, it's true. It's true. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. But I guess the biggest shock for me was finding out that it was true that Puff Daddy had hired all these escorts. It was true. So what my friends were telling me, it was true. They did go work for him. They did meet for him. They were paid by him. They never lied. They told the truth.
I had one sit on my show. I was contacted by shout out to Rico. Rico came and did an interview a few months back, and his gay best friend reached out to me and said, my best friend used to work for Diddy. I said, what do you mean used to work? Diddy hired him to come and service him and his girl. Yeah. When Rico sat down, I said, God damn. said Diddy paid him 5 racks every time he came through.
Wow.
And he was subpoenaed by the grand jury and everything like that. But his testimony didn't go in line with what the feds were trying to convict Diddy of. He was saying everybody was consensual. Like,
right.
Nobody was being forced. Nobody was being raped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can see that.
If there was a no, we stopped, according to him. But like he was just like, but Diddy would use these modeling agencies to cast these men to come escort. Allegedly.
Well, my friend, he was an actor. And what took place with him, he said Diddy flew him several places. And I was just thinking, in my mind, I was just thinking, this nigga lying.
And now everything coming out.
And then I was like, and then finally, when all this content, but a few years, there were some things that happened with this individual over the years, and we got closer. And he really started telling me stuff, and I started listening. Now I'm listening. Even before this exploded, I would start listening to him because I'm thinking, okay, he's telling me some things that, he event places he went, people he met, things that he was doing. The escorting part of that, he met this person, he escorted, he paid $10,000 for this. It was just some really crazy stuff going on. And this man was living with HIV. They didn't want to have any sex with a condom. This was everything. When he was doing this sexual stuff, it was raw sex. He's telling me this stuff. I'm like, okay, did they know you were positive? Did you tell these people? And he would go and, so what Diddy was doing was, obviously, there are a lot of people living that lifestyle. A lot of people. Not just him, but a lot of people. Because my friend was paid thousands of dollars by so many people flying all over the place.
And he was
private jets.
And he was HIV positive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What else did you hear about TD from the community?
Just that they were escorting. That they met him and they were just, like I said, very little things, but I've heard stuff that people would say about TD Jakes. Like they met him here, and they met them there, and they flew here, they went there, they went that. And I just kind of like, okay. Well, do you think he's gay?
I don't know. I wouldn't date him.
I don't know anything about TD Jakes very much, other than Potter's House. I've seen that. I know
he's
very
a
close.
phenomenal preacher. So was Eddie Long.
Yeah,
Eddie Long
was
saved,
a good speaker.
like spiritually saved my life through dark times. I would listen to his cassette tapes. So whether Eddie Long was gay or not, I didn't care. It's just that, just don't be lying about who you are. Don't be DL with your wife, messing with little boys. Now we got a problem. But that's when you start to separate the word from the person, because a broken clock can be right twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But listen, we can sit here forever.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I know it's been a while.
Well, I hope that
it's good. No, look, this is a wino request. My viewers are called the winos because we drink wine, unwine with Tasha K. So they were like,
this is water, y'all.
He going to the gym. He was like, they were like, Walter, you got to get Walter. When I was doing the Tyler Perry lawsuit, just kind of expose, just reading that verbatim and everything like that. So yeah, I'm glad to have you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I mean, I hope that I was able to provide.
Yeah, a lot more insight into what's being said, and we are a gossip platform. So,
I got it.
We just want to know what the streets are saying, and then when everything comes into fruition, it's like, bitch, I heard that.
Right? It's like, okay, I heard that. Yeah.
Everything's allegedly, even my name's allegedly. Don't play, okay? But thank you so much, Walter Lee. Please tell everybody right there's your camera where they can find you, follow you, because you actually.
So go to my YouTube channel. It's Walter Lee Hampton II. I'm also on Instagram, Walter Lee Hampton II, on YouTube, Facebook. There's Walter Lee Hampton II, and subscribe and watch my videos.
Yes.
Thank you.
And go all the way back. You got to go all the way back. Start from the beginning.
Yeah, I've been doing those videos since 2012.
When YouTube first was like getting popping.
I wish I had started a little bit sooner too. But because people kept telling me, you got to be on YouTube, you got to get on YouTube. And when I got on YouTube, it just exploded, So it just kind of took off for me. So I got kind of lucky with that. Because some people, I'm not at 100,000 views. Y'all push me to Look at my videos, press like and subscribe, please. So I can get over 100,000.
Yes.
I've been at it for a long
I love
time.
it here. Hopefully we're gonna have you back.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll come back again next time you're in Atlanta.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we gotta go. Look at that camera and say, now you gotta go.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night. I'm outta here.
Walter. And we're out.
Well,
thank you. I love this. It was just like a nice dialogue.
It was nice.
I can see myself like being friends with you for years. You're so easy to talk to.
What happens to a normal person?
Yeah, like it's just so easy. Like I was out with my I call them my gay husbands because they're married, and I married them.
Gotcha.
And so it was funny because when I married them, I was the officiant, and they let me wear the dress with the veil. You know, so I walked down the aisle with a black dress on with a veil and turned around.
When everybody would get married.
So it was like they brought the femininity out of using me as the officiant, but in a wedding dress. And I was out with them last night, and I just, oh my God, you give me their same energy. They just love to have a good time.
Yeah, have fun.